Some people think that after turning 70, life slows down, that it's time to rest and avoid taking risks. But what happens when the desire to travel speaks louder? Visiting new places, reconnecting with family, finally taking that dream trip. Those desires don't fade with age. The real question is traveling after 70 still safe? The answer might be more complex than it seems. Many people pack their bags, grab their documents, and head out full of excitement. But what few consider is that, as the years go by, situations that once felt simple can become risky or even dangerous, especially when you're far from home. And most only realize this when they're already on the road, without support, without resources, and often unsure of what to do. In this video, we're having a serious conversation. We're going to talk about 5 real risks that can turn a peaceful trip into a nightmare, especially for those over 70. These are situations that aren't often discussed openly, and many people underestimate them, thinking everything will be fine, like always. But the body changes, stamina changes, and the way we respond to the unexpected changes too. And that trip that was supposed to bring joy can suddenly turn into a source of stress, worry, unexpected expenses, and even health problems. If you're planning a trip or know someone who is, it's essential to understand what can go wrong. Not to scare you, but to prepare you, because it's much easier to deal with a risk when you know it exists. It's like watching your step before you trip, like buckling your seatbelt before the turn. Preparing yourself is a form of self-care, and it's how you protect your freedom to keep traveling safely. But let me be clear, this video isn't here to tell you to stop traveling. Quite the opposite. It's here to help you keep doing it, but the right way, with awareness, planning, and eyes wide open. Because some things may seem small, but can seriously affect your health, your safety, or even your finances. And it's much better to find that out now, calmly, than in the middle of a trip with no easy way out. Here, you'll learn what almost no one talks about clearly. From health issues in places with little to no support, to more subtle risks, like forgetting an essential medication or falling for a scam because you trusted too much. Each point is based on real-life situations that happen more often than you'd think, and that can happen to anyone, even seasoned travelers. So stay with me, because this information can save you from serious regrets and help you keep traveling for many years to come, with safety, comfort, and peace of mind. At the end of the video, I'll ask you an important question, but for now, pay close attention to each of the points I'm about to share. The last one, by the way, is one of the most common and least discussed, and it could help you avoid major problems on your next trip. Let's get started. We'll begin with a big issue: medical emergencies in places with poor infrastructure. Travel always feels like a fresh start. You leave behind the familiar, shift into a different rhythm, change your surroundings. But there's one part of travel that many people only realize when it's too late: the gap between what might happen and how truly prepared we are, especially when it comes to health. After 70, the body doesn't respond the way it used to. Small changes in routine, weather, or even food can trigger unexpected reactions. A sudden spike or drop in blood pressure, dizziness during a tour, chest pain in a foreign country, far from your doctor, your language, your medications. What was meant to be a relaxing, joyful trip can turn into a race against time in a matter of minutes. The big problem is that most travel destinations are not equipped to handle medical emergencies in older adults. In many small towns, there are no nearby hospitals or fast ambulance services. In other places, the infrastructure does exist, but it's expensive, very expensive. And here's a common mistake: assuming your health plan covers everything outside your city or country. In reality, many people only discover they're unprotected when they urgently need help. A real example: a senior travels with family to a neighboring country. Everything goes smoothly at first. On the 3rd day, he experiences severe dizziness, weakness, and chest pain. The family calls for help. The ambulance takes a long time to arrive. The nearest hospital demands upfront payment. His health insurance doesn't cover care outside the country. The result? Hours of anxiety, delayed treatment, and a bill in dollars that throws off the family's finances for months. And worse than that, the trauma of being vulnerable at a time when all he needed was quick help and support. It's not an isolated case. Travelers with a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart conditions, or respiratory issues, even when well controlled, are more likely to experience unexpected episodes. And it's perfectly natural. Changes in time zone, irregular sleep, physical effort, extreme heat or cold, all of that affects the body. And when something gets out of balance, it's not just your physical health that takes a hit. Emotional stress plays a big part too. Being far from home, unsure if you'll get timely care or be properly understood, can be frightening. So how do you protect yourself? The first step is always prevention. Before your trip, talk to your trusted doctor. Get a basic checkup. Ask for a letter summarizing your medical history, medications, and dosages. Bring both a printed and digital copy. It might feel like overkill, but in an emergency, those few saved minutes could make all the difference, maybe even save your life. Also, do some research about the healthcare system at your destination. Is there a public hospital nearby? Is care private? Do you need prior authorization from your insurance? Many people book travel packages and only realize too late that the included insurance doesn't cover air evacuation, hospital stays, or surgeries. That's why it's worth investing in a quality international health insurance plan, even if it costs more. It's an investment in your safety. Another important tip: bring enough of your regular medications for the entire trip, plus a few extra days' worth in case of delays. Keep them in your carry-on bag, clearly labeled. If you rely on a specific medication, check ahead of time to see if it's available at your destination in case you need more. In some countries, medications that are easy to get at home may require a local prescription or might not be available at all. It's also essential to pay attention to your body's signals while traveling. Don't ignore dizziness, unusual fatigue, shortness of breath, chest pain, sudden swelling, or any abrupt changes. These symptoms, which may seem minor, are your body's way of warning you that something's off. The sooner you respond, the better your chances of avoiding complications. Traveling after 70 doesn't have to be risky, but it does have to be intentional. And that intention starts with planning and the small details that prevent big surprises. You deserve to enjoy every part of your trip with peace of mind. And part of that is making sure that if something goes wrong, you're prepared. Once that's taken care of, all that's left is to enjoy what truly matters, living the moment without fear. Because when your health is protected, everything else flows. The second thing to watch out for when traveling after 70 is scams and fraud, many of which specifically target seniors. It might sound like an exaggeration, but this is becoming increasingly common in tourist destinations, especially busy places filled with visitors. And what's most concerning is that many of these scams are so well disguised that by the time someone realizes what happened, it's already too late. The truth is, there are bad actors everywhere, and they know that older travelers tend to be polite, trusting, and discreet with money. That's exactly the profile scammers look for. Often the scam starts with a friendly gesture, someone offering to help with luggage, a can't-miss deal on a tour, or a super-friendly taxi driver who ends up charging 3 times the normal fare. When traveling abroad, the chances of falling victim to a scam go up even more. Language barriers, unfamiliar currencies, and being out of your comfort zone can make everything more confusing. A credit card that's accidentally swiped twice, a tampered payment machine, a fake booking website. These things happen far more often than people think, and older adults are often the main targets simply because they trust more and question less. But it's not just the big scams that cause problems. Smaller everyday situations can chip away at your confidence and peace of mind. A taxi ride quoted at one price, then charged at another. A tour that seems official but has no real backing. A shop that takes advantage of your good nature to push overpriced items. Many seniors only realize something wasn't right after they're back at the hotel, thinking over what happened. That's when the frustration hits, the feeling of being deceived, or even the embarrassment of telling a family member. There's also the risk of scams involving access to your personal documents and data. In some places, it's common for someone to ask for your passport for registration or entry into venues that aren't even authorized to do so. Others ask for your card number in open settings or offer free Wi-Fi that's actually a trap to steal your information. It might sound like something out of a movie, but these are real situations that have affected plenty of travelers. The good news is, with just a few simple habits, it's totally possible to protect yourself and avoid this kind of situation. The first step is staying extra alert, without losing your kindness, but knowing when to say no if something feels off. It's better to seem a little suspicious than to deal with a serious issue later. If someone is being overly helpful, offering a deal that seems too good to be true, or pressuring you to decide quickly, be cautious. Scammers tend to act fast and use emotional pressure because they know time exposes their tricks. Another key tip, always choose well-known, reputable companies. If you're booking a tour, ask the hotel staff or people you trust for recommendations. If you're getting a ride, go with official taxis or trusted rideshare apps. And when it's time to pay, avoid swiping your card on suspicious machines or handing over personal documents unnecessarily. Also, don't carry large amounts of cash. It's better to divide your money in different places and, whenever possible, use prepaid or low-limit cards. Keep important documents in safe locations and never accept help from strangers at ATMs or in isolated areas when handling your bags. And maybe the most important advice, never feel embarrassed to ask for help or to speak up if something feels wrong. If something seems off, trust your instincts. Talk to someone at the hotel, call a family member, or go to an official information desk. Scammers rely on silence. When you speak up, you protect yourself. Traveling safely doesn't mean being suspicious of everything. It means being aware. There are still plenty of good people in the world, but we need to know the difference between caution and naivety. Protecting your money, your personal information, and your peace of mind is essential if you want to keep exploring new places freely. Because in the end, you deserve to experience new things with joy, not carry bitter memories of something that could have been avoided with just a little more attention. The third thing that requires serious attention when traveling after 70 is managing your medications and preventing health issues that come from poor planning. It might seem like a small detail, but many health problems that pop up during a trip could be avoided with a bit more preparation. Anyone who takes medication daily, and that includes most people in this age group, knows that even a small routine change can affect the body. And on a trip, everything changes. Meal times, sleep schedule, activity level, diet, climate, time zone. Even if you don't realize it, your body does. And if medications aren't taken on time or are forgotten altogether, the consequences can be much more serious than a simple headache. Imagine, for example, someone with mild hypertension who misses or delays a few doses while traveling. That can silently cause blood pressure to rise. Add in the heat of a new destination, the extra physical activity from sightseeing, and unfamiliar food, and suddenly they're feeling unwell, dizzy, or even having chest pain. The same goes for those with diabetes, thyroid issues, arrhythmias, anxiety, or any condition that depends on proper medication. And the problem isn't just forgetting to take it. Often, people lose track of the correct timing. Some are used to taking a pill at 8 a.m., but don't adjust for the time zone change and end up taking it 2 or 3 hours late. Others pack their meds in checked luggage and find themselves stuck at the airport with low blood pressure and no way to access them. Some travelers even bring just enough medication, assuming they'll easily find the same one abroad, only to discover that the active ingredient goes by a different name, has a different dosage, or isn't available at all. There's also the risk of unexpected reactions. Sudden changes in diet, like spicy food, alcohol, or high-sodium meals, can interact with medications, and the body doesn't always give immediate warning signs. The discomfort might come on day 2 or 3, just as the routine is thrown off. That's when symptoms like nausea, stomach pain, heart palpitations, drowsiness, or confusion can appear, and in an unfamiliar place with no immediate help, it can turn into a real challenge. So how do you avoid these risks? The first step is to plan your medications carefully before you travel. Organize them in individual containers with labels showing the timing and usage. If possible, use one of those weekly pill boxes with morning, afternoon, and evening slots. They're incredibly helpful when your routine shifts. Another important tip: bring extra doses of your medications and always keep most of them in your carry-on. Travel delays, lost luggage, or long excursions can happen. Having a backup ensures your treatment isn't interrupted. And if your medication needs refrigeration, find out in advance how to transport it safely. Talk to your doctor before the trip. Ask for a written list of all the medications you take, including the generic names, dosages, and reasons for each one. Keep that list with you, both printed and in digital form. In an emergency, especially abroad, this information can make a big difference in the care you receive. If you're traveling to a different time zone, ask your doctor how to adjust your medication schedule. In some cases, it's best to stick to your home country's timing. In others, gradually shifting to the new local time is safer. It depends on the medication, and only your doctor can guide you properly. Another key point: avoid self-medicating while traveling. Many people take whatever they find in their bag or buy something at a local pharmacy without really knowing what it is. The problem is that these new medications can interact with the ones you already take and cause unwanted effects. Whenever possible, bring pain relievers, fever reducers, or digestive aids you already know and trust. Managing your medications is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to keep your health stable throughout your trip. You can't predict everything, but you can prepare wisely. And when your health is under control, the whole experience becomes smoother. You enjoy more, with less fear, fewer limitations, and lower risk. Traveling is a gift, but after 70, your body needs extra care. And that starts with something as simple as respecting what it's already used to. With good planning and a little caution, you can go far, safely, confidently, and freely. The fourth thing that deserves special attention when planning a trip later in life is the risk of falls and accidents caused by physical exhaustion and poor infrastructure. Many people think of a fall as a minor stumble or misstep, but as we age, the consequences can be much more serious. A fractured hip, for example, can mean months of recovery, loss of independence, and even more severe complications that impact your overall health. What most people don't realize is that during a trip, your routine changes completely. You wake up earlier, walk more than usual, spend more time on your feet, visit places with stairs, ramps, uneven sidewalks, often with no support or proper signage. The body, already more sensitive to fatigue, responds with pain, muscle stiffness, loss of balance, and even mild confusion caused by exhaustion. And when your body is tired, everything becomes harder. Your steps get unsteady, your focus fades, and the risk of falling increases, often without you even noticing. Physical exhaustion combined with an unfamiliar environment is one of the leading causes of falls during travel. It's natural to want to make the most of every day away from home. There's excitement, anticipation, and the feeling that everything should be experienced at once. But your body doesn't see that as motivation, it sees it as effort. And if that effort isn't respected, it comes at a cost. Even those in good health can underestimate their fatigue and end up putting themselves at risk from overdoing it. Another major factor is the effect of heat, cold, or high altitudes. Hot weather can lead to dehydration, which directly affects balance. Intense cold causes muscle stiffness and limited joint movement. And in high-altitude locations, like mountain towns or elevated countries, reduced oxygen levels can leave you feeling weak, sleepy, and slow to react. All of this quietly increases the risk of accidents. On top of that, many hotels, guest houses, and tourist areas aren't fully accessible. Slippery bathroom floors, showers with no grab bars, narrow hallways, loose rugs, or unexpected steps can be hazards for anyone with even mild mobility limitations. Unfortunately, these issues often aren't noticed until after a fall happens. The place looked safe, but it lacked that one grab bar in the bathroom. The path seemed flat, but there was a slight bump that caused a loss of balance. That's why your first line of defense should be managing the pace of your trip. Respecting your limits is essential. That doesn't mean giving up on fun. It means adjusting the itinerary. Instead of cramming 3 tours into one day, why not pick just one and enjoy it slowly with planned breaks, time to rest, and proper meals? Giving your body space to recover between activities allows you to enjoy more, not less. Another often overlooked detail is your footwear. It might seem small, but it makes a big difference. Uncomfortable shoes, slippery soles, or a poor fit are a recipe for falls. The best choice is sneakers or closed-toe shoes with non-slip soles that offer good support. Avoid flip-flops, open sandals, or brand-new shoes that haven't yet molded to your feet. A good pair of shoes might be the best investment of your whole trip. And don't forget to stretch. Just a few minutes of light stretching in the morning can boost circulation, reduce stiffness, and improve coordination. A body that's awake and limber responds better to the day's challenges, including walking with stability. If possible, bring a walking stick or foldable cane, even if you don't use one regularly. On a staircase without a handrail or a steep incline, that bit of support could make the difference between a smooth outing and a serious fall. Also, keep a water bottle with you at all times. Hydration directly affects your balance, energy levels, and mental clarity. For those with a history of falls, vertigo, or leg weakness, it's a good idea to see a physical therapist before the trip. They can recommend strengthening exercises or suggest support items like insoles, braces, or other tools that can boost safety while walking. Another essential step is researching accessibility at your destination. Check if the hotel has an elevator, if the bathroom has grab bars, if the tour involves long walks or uneven terrain. Getting this info ahead of time helps you avoid unpleasant surprises and gives you the power to choose what's really worth doing. Safety starts with awareness. Understanding that your body doesn't react the way it used to is the first step toward protecting it. It's not about fear, it's about wisdom. A trip should bring joy, not unnecessary risk. Taking care of your footing, staying aware of your surroundings, and listening to your body is how you protect your independence. Because falling at home is already bad, but falling far away, in an unfamiliar place without support, can derail your entire trip. And more than that, a fall doesn't just impact the body, it can affect your emotions too. You might lose confidence, become afraid to walk alone, or avoid future trips out of fear. That's the opposite of what this stage of life should be about. These years should be filled with new experiences, more lightness, more freedom. So, prevention is the key to making sure your trip is complete, mind and body in sync, with comfort, balance, and safety. Every conscious step you take is one more step toward beautiful new memories, not scars. The fifth thing that deserves special attention when planning a trip is how changes in food and climate can affect your body. It might seem like something minor or easy to deal with, but the truth is, this combination, new eating habits and different weather conditions, can really throw your system off. In many cases, that's exactly what drains your energy, makes you feel unwell, or even forces you to cut the trip short. When you leave home, everything changes. Mealtimes, food quality, temperature, daily rhythm. And your body feels each of these changes more intensely, especially as the years go by. Heavier meals, fried foods, too many sweets, dishes full of spices or unfamiliar ingredients are all common during travel. Many tourists get excited about trying the local cuisine, which is completely natural. But your digestive system, which may already be more sensitive, doesn't always keep up with that excitement. It's common to experience heartburn, reflux, bloating, constipation, or diarrhea within the first few days of a trip. A larger than usual dinner might lead to a restless night. A new food could cause hours of discomfort or swelling. And these symptoms, which might have been mild in earlier stages of life, tend to take longer to pass now, require more care, and can impact the entire experience. In some cases, they even come with fatigue, drowsiness, dizziness, or low blood pressure. On top of that, there's the impact of weather. Hot destinations increase the risk of dehydration, loss of minerals, and excessive fatigue. Heat can also lead to swelling in the legs and worsen low blood pressure. Cold temperatures, on the other hand, cause joint stiffness, muscle pain, and force the body to work harder to maintain a stable internal temperature. For those with respiratory conditions like bronchitis or rhinitis, dry or polluted air requires even more attention. And if your destination is at a high altitude, the challenge is even greater. Oxygen levels drop, your body adjusts more slowly, and it's common to feel tired, have headaches, trouble sleeping, or even shortness of breath. It might sound like an exaggeration, but these are normal physiological reactions. They require care, gradual adaptation, and most of all, listening to your body's signals. One detail that often gets overlooked is water intake. While traveling, people tend to drink less than they should, sometimes because the day is packed, other times to avoid frequent restroom stops. But the result is clear. Digestion slows down, infection risk goes up, and the body's ability to regulate itself weakens. And worse, in some places tap water isn't safe to drink. One contaminated glass can trigger a serious intestinal infection. If you have conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or kidney problems, you need to be even more cautious. Ultra-processed foods, which are common in airports, hotels, and tourist spots, are usually packed with sodium, sugar, or unhealthy fats. A simple snack can spike your blood sugar, raise your blood pressure, or cause water retention. In more serious cases, it may even require medical attention, which when abroad or in remote areas is no easy task. The key is balance. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself, it just means making smarter choices. Absolutely try new flavors, but without going overboard. Eat slowly, pay attention to how your body reacts, and avoid eating heavy meals several days in a row. Stick to cooked foods, fruits washed with safe water, and simple vegetables. Avoid raw dishes or sauces you don't recognize, especially during the first few days of the trip. Bringing your own healthy snacks can help too. Nuts, whole grain crackers, dried fruits, and cereal bars are easy to carry and keep you from grabbing just anything when hunger strikes. That way, you keep your energy steady and feel more comfortable. And if possible, research the local restaurants ahead of time. Some places offer lighter menus, options for dietary restrictions, or dishes similar to what you're used to at home. As for weather, dress in layers. This allows you to adjust your clothing throughout the day and avoid overheating or getting too cold. Always carry a water bottle and sip it regularly. Wear a hat in hot areas and protect your hands and feet in the cold. Keep your skin moisturized and, if needed, carry saline spray to ease nasal dryness. These small efforts make a big difference. Maintaining a simple routine helps the body stay balanced. You don't need to follow your schedule as strictly as you would at home, but try to wake up, eat, and sleep at roughly the same times. Take breaks to rest, even if your itinerary is packed. And if possible, avoid activities too early in the morning or too late at night, times when the body is naturally more vulnerable. And of course, talk to your doctor before your trip. They can help adjust your nutrition plan, recommend supplements, or give you specific advice based on your destination. If you take prescription medications, this conversation is even more important since diet can affect how some medicines work. Taking care of your diet and adjusting to the climate isn't being overly cautious. It's about making sure your body has everything it needs to enjoy the experience in a light, healthy, and safe way. The joy of travel doesn't come from overindulging, but from being fully present, with energy, clarity, and well-being. Because when your body is in harmony, even food tastes better, sightseeing is more enjoyable, and the memories you take home are the ones that truly matter. Before we wrap up, there's something I really need to tell you. This might be one of the most important tips in this entire video. It doesn't matter if you've traveled many times before or if you're planning your first big adventure. There's one thing that can make all the difference between a smooth trip and one full of surprises, and that is mindful planning. A lot of people think planning a trip just means choosing the destination, booking a hotel, and buying tickets. Of course, that's part of it. But when you've lived more years and your body carries more stories, planning goes beyond that. It means looking inward and asking yourself, how is my body doing today? What do I need to feel well during this trip? What limits can't I ignore? This kind of reflection, often pushed aside, is what truly ensures your trip is light, safe, and most of all, enjoyable. That's why my extra tip is this. Before packing your suitcase, prepare your well-being. And I'm not just talking about the right clothes or valid documents. I mean, thinking about what your body needs, what your mind is asking for, what your routine will demand. Pack a kit with your medications, recent test results, a list of your prescriptions with times and doses. Also include emergency contacts, your accommodation's address written on paper, and basic information about the place you're visiting. And if you can, share your travel plans with someone you trust. Let someone know where you'll be each day. That's not being overly cautious. It brings peace of mind for you and for those who care about you. There's something else people rarely talk about. A good trip doesn't mean doing everything. It means doing what feels good for you. Some people think a perfect trip means lots of tours, early mornings, long days, visiting every landmark. But maybe your ideal trip looks different. Maybe it's slower, with pauses to observe and truly savor the moment. And that's perfectly okay. The best kind of travel is the one that respects your rhythm. And the more you listen to your body, the more you genuinely enjoy your time. Here's an important reminder. Listen to your body's signals without guilt. If you're tired, stop. If something didn't sit well with you, don't repeat it. If a tour feels like too much, change your plans. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your health, your comfort, and your peace come first. A trip should never feel like a marathon. It should feel like a gift you're giving yourself. By the way, since we're here, I wanted to ask you something. Have you traveled in the past few years? Are you planning a trip soon? Tell me in the comments. How was your experience? Did you face any unexpected challenges? Do you have any tips that worked well and might help others? Your story could inspire someone watching right now who still feels unsure about planning a trip. Sometimes, a simple comment is all it takes to calm an anxious heart and give someone the courage to take the first step. And if you haven't traveled yet, but have that dream tucked away, share that too. Tell me where you'd love to go, what's motivating you, and what's holding you back. Who knows, maybe in an upcoming video, I'll talk about exactly what you need to help turn that dream into reality. Because that's why I'm here, to walk alongside you, helping turn dreams into plans and plans into real experiences. The most beautiful part of all this is knowing you're not alone. Every doubt you feel, someone else has felt. Every fear, every hesitation, it's all part of the journey. And this space exists for that, to share, to support, to remind you that yes, there's still time to live amazing things. With care, with planning, with heart, and with willingness. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep receiving content made especially for you, someone with life experience who deserves thoughtful, high-quality information, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. That way you won't miss any of the upcoming videos, all designed for the senior audience with practical, relevant topics shared with care. And let me know in the comments, what topics would you like to see here? Is there something you're curious about, struggling with, or just wondering? Your input is so important and will help make this space even more useful and welcoming for all of us. I'll see you soon.